In 1999, the United Nations Security Council adopted Resolution 1276, which led to the creation of the Al-Qaeda and Taliban Sanctions Committee. The two terrorist groups entitle and impose fundings, travel, and arms shipments. The Al-Qaeda group was headed by Osama bin Laden, who was the mastermind of the terror attacks in Afghanistan and Peshawar, Pakistan. Consequently, the state of Afghanistan became a sanctuary for the group. The death of Ahmad Shah Massoud, the guerrilla warfare leader known as Panjshir Leon, led to a significant blow which resulted in anti-Taliban resistance. These terrorists believed that his killing had secured the Taliban's support for Osama bin Laden following the September 11 attacks, which was undoubtedly the most brazen and dreadful terrorist attack in history. And as mentioned earlier, this horrific event pushed for bloody change in the security policies of the United States. But what actually happened on that event? On that day, Al-Qaeda hijacked 4 commercial planes that crashed into the World Trade Center in New York and the Pentagon in Washington, D.C., wherein an estimated 3,000 people perished. Immediately, then-President George W. Bush promised to win the war against terrorism. He signed the joint resolution into a law which allowed the U.S. to use force against a terrorist organization. In an assembly in 2004, 502 Afghan delegates agreed on a constitution for Afghanistan, establishing a powerful presidential system to unite the different ethnic groups in the country. This act is considered to be a positive step towards democracy. In Afghan history, Karzai is the first democratically elected official through ballot voting. A lot of Afghan people casted their vote even though there is a threat of violence and intimidation. His opponent, former Education Minister Yunus Kanuni, accused Karzai of the abduction of 3 UN election officers. Moreover, the attacks of the US forces in Afghanistan are still ongoing even though a new government has been formed. Up until in 2020, the US Representative Khalilzad and Taliban's Baradar signed the peace agreement that paved the way for an important draw line of the US military in Afghanistan. The US Defense Secretary Christopher Miller announced the withdrawal of troops in Afghanistan into half. The newly elected President Joe Biden completes the withdrawal of forces in Afghanistan under the US-Taliban agreements. The United States will continue their support for the peace process in the country. However, the Taliban will not attend any peace conference if there are still foreign militaries in Afghanistan.
Well, I guess that's it for our video. I hope you learned something about US-Middle East relations. Goodbye!